How do you envision managing future skills within your strategy?
Well, one thing I would say is just some of the other panelists covered this to some extent is you have this organization perspective, like what's important, where are we headed as an organization, what sort of markets are we getting into, exposing that information and that perspective to employees, but pairing that with employee autonomy to kind of choose their own career path, what they want to work on. I think from a cultural standpoint, that's really important to kind of marry these things together. Again, getting out of this mindset of like, we're going to come up with a list of future skills and then we're going to solve that problem. It's more about opening up the data, making it visible, and unleashing the power of your organization to kind of help you fill those gaps.
How do you develop these skills within the organizations?
The biggest miss for me, and I think some companies did this really, really, really well during COVID and others didn't, and they shared talent. I saw Coca-Cola saying, I've got 400 people over here that I don't want to make redundant. Can I lend them to Ford? Can I lend them to Unilever? Can I lend them to somebody else? And we started to see these shared networks where users and people, employees, humans, were moving around different shared partner organizations to go and gather new skills, go and gain new experiences. And I think, yes, we're in a competitive marketplace, but I think as businesses, we can look at the benefits of being able to do that and do that well across all sectors and all markets. And I see that coming in new pieces of technology all the time. So I think there's some of the things that I think we need to embrace on. There are others, but I don't want to be the monopoly of answering this question. I'll let others with big brains answer.
There's a comment from Matt that I think connects a little to what you're describing, which is the shift in skilling approaches requires a shift to learner-centric learning organizations. And this is a true change management effort. I'm curious, Matt, if you want to just give a little more color commentary to that.
In today's organ, to make especially future skilling really work, you have to incorporate the learners and the performers into the ecosystem. Where I put things and what I think the work is versus how the people actually see it playing out and what I need to do it. It has to be a blend of both approaches to it. A static top-down skilling strategy just will not work. It cannot be agile and nimble enough. But you can't just put it in and expect the participants to do this. One of the biggest failures I saw is people started new future skilling when it rolled out. And they were also getting curation platforms at the same time. And they go, I've rolled out this great academy that includes elements on emotional intelligence. Great. People went through it. They took it. They go, I have no idea how to apply this in my work. I've upskilled on it, but I don't know how to do anything. They've got to be able to say, how is this relevant to my job? How would I change in my interpersonal interactions? Closing the loop with them, but that means they've got to step into the journey and know their progression, what they're doing. So, I mean, that system requires re-gearing the way people engage with the organization.
Not all work is equal, I guess, is what I'm saying. There will be some places where you can afford to allow people to develop skills. And there'll be other places, maybe your compliance elements or regulatory reporting, where you're going to need an expert. So it's about finding those landing spots with the managers who will facilitate and will drive that change of behavior. That's where I've seen this skills development in your role and developing new skills that the individual is aspirational to really work.
How important is measurement in your skill strategy?
I think development conversations with managers are still important, but the minute that you add somebody else, such as a career coach that I mentioned, your engagement goes a lot deeper. So we've structured our philosophy around 3 core elements, which is the manager, the career coach, and the platform that enables for that experience. And then in the center of that, you have the employee. And we've been able to measure all of that. And we've seen higher engagement rates when we have those 3 things than if we just had the platform and the manager engage in the process.